great. Rock and roll.
You were holding it.
Okay. Alright, can I get those drums again real quick?
Yeah.
Do you want the whole thing?
And then after this,
Yeah, okay.
See how cranky we get with each other when we're under stress.
right, sorry.
These are like cocaine couches, man.
Okay,
They are. They're like from the day.
they said
Big glass table in the middle.
in here last night.
Well, that's what I thought you.
Alright.
You never show your teeth. That's right. Smile, show my teeth. I got it.
Show your teeth.
Some of those fucking pearly whites. Feels artificial. It's smiling. It's how I smile.
And you got nice
Show my
teeth.
teeth.
Yeah, you got beautiful teeth.
Beautiful. All right. I look like an emoji when I do that.
Do you really?
I'm an emoji. Lori's gonna be holding down the Molly with you. Yeah. All right. So there we go. All right. All right. Rock and roll, man. You were holding it down! Alright. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so Tori and I grew up together playing guitar and singing with our great grandmother was 105, she lived to be. She played piano for silent movies at the Academy of Music in Northampton back in the day. She was born in like 1876, so
Yeah,
whatever that was.
and her and her little brother she played piano, and her little brother would tap dance. Harry would tap dance when she was 6 and he was 4. So they were actually bringing income to the family when they were children during a really.
But we weren't around for any of that, but this is all family
But this is
folklore.
family history, so yeah, we have history. And then our father was a musician.
Father was a
So he
harmonica
played
player,
everything.
guitar player, piano player.
banjo. Yeah, he encouraged
I play a little
music.
piano, I play a little guitar, more guitar, harmonica, little tiny bit of mandolin, a little bit of bass.
I played trumpet, and then made the decision to go to guitar as opposed because we couldn't afford 2 different lessons at the same time, you know. And the trumpet, Mr. Bugley, the trumpet teacher, cried, but he got over it. And then after two weeks of guitar lessons, decided we were just going to teach ourselves. So, and then we were self-taught.
That's kind of, we were pretty much self-taught.
Wow, look at all of you. Give yourselves a hand. Coming out in this cold weather like this. We love that. It warms our hearts.
So a lot of people to thank. We'll do that as we go on tonight, but I guess we'll thank Hawks and Reeds for having us here. Thank you so much. And all of our wonderful fans and friends. My God, what a bunch of love and support. Thank you. So, we are all women, all originals, and we're going to rock the house, hopefully. She said, we're going to Tori tune up, and I may be stripping off some clothes because it might be getting hot. Long live Freddie Mercury, right? Feels awful, especially these days as I watch it quickly slipping away. Tell me, does it really go faster every day? Going by, I can't say why I'm here, where I'm going. Seems God's plan wasn't for no man.
taught herself to play bass, basically.
Well, I did have teachers, but I started February 13th, 2013.
Whoa.
I mean, I was 53.
She's
Yeah.
new at this.
Yeah, so I'm pretty new. I saw a Fender bass hanging on the wall of the Traveling Guitar Museum that came to Springfield, and I just saw it and was like, oh my God, that's my thing, you know, that's what I want to do. And so my husband at the time was a really good guitarist, and he got me singing songs right away. By September, he was insisting that I accompany him at open mics, and so I wouldn't get too afraid, you know, early on. Then I had a great bass teacher, Smilin' Steve, and I took some group classes at the Northampton Community Music School where I met Ben and those guys, and so yeah.
Don't forget what you're hungry for. Honor your needs and help your heart soar. The higher the risk, the higher the gain. Choose the uncertain path, start all the same. When the answer don't need the all the next push your mind and your body to feel what is real. Push the future on spinning your heart and mind. Don't be afraid to leave it all behind. Don't forget what you're hungry for. Don't forget the reason you walked out that door. Don't forget what you're hungry for. Keep baby strong, don't take it anymore. When the signs are racing, it's all yours today. When you realize the whole damn thing is so fucking shit. You know it's the truth, you never go online. Don't take no more shit, you don't have to be so kind. Don't forget what you're hungry for. Don't forget what you're hungry for. Don't forget what you're hungry for. Don't be afraid as you walk out that door. Don't forget what you're hungry for. All your needs and all your heart soar. The higher the risk, the higher the gain. Choose the uncertain path, all the pain. Push the edge of your knees beyond your hands feel. Hold your mind and your heart and feel the will. What is real? When the future's spinning your heart and mind. Don't be afraid to leave it all behind. Don't forget what you're hungry for. Don't forget what you're hungry for. Don't forget what you're hungry for. Don't be afraid to walk. Don't be afraid to walk. Don't be afraid to walk out. Don't be afraid to walk out that door. That song, right there. Quiet bass player in the back, won't take a mic, but she knows that song.
I've been hanging out with Gail since college 30 years ago plus, and we sang in a cafe where she played guitar and I sang a Joni Mitchell song.
Oh, I
and
love it.
because she said she couldn't sing. And now she's singing and she's doing harmony, and here she is. And so she saw herself as a drummer, but then she plays guitar and she sings and she does harmonies, and now she's writing songs. And I've been following the different bands that she's been in over the years. It's really awesome to see this iteration where they're playing all of this music that is self-written by all of these different people. The fact that they play in so many different styles, and they really are not just silly songs. They really mean something. There's a lot of message, political and personal, that comes out in all of it.
Do you have a favorite song yet? Or a couple favorite songs?
I love Forehead.
We all love her. It's our favorite song to play.
Well, it's just it just pulls it. They call it their punk tune, right? That's where you go on farthest back.
I started playing drums in 1979 with my friend Carrie Watson in the basement. I grew up in New York where my parents were just totally open-minded and loose. So all throughout the 70s, my big brothers had bands, and so we had drum kits, bass amps. We had a bunch of guys with long hair, and they would be coming in and out all the time. And so one time when they were out, I was in 7th grade, and my friend Carrie and I said, let's just sit down and play. And we had no idea what we were doing, but Carrie picked up guitar, I picked up the drumsticks, and we just started playing. And so ever since then, by the time I was in 10th grade, I started the first, Garden City's first all-girls band. We were called Twilight, and we played the Battle of the Bands in Garden City, and then we played the band Follies, which was this big thing. My high school had like 1,600 people. And so we were kind of well known in our high school. And then finally I got into Bates, and I kept playing music. When I got to Michigan, I was in an all-women's band called Where's Jenny? And we toured all around the Midwest. We got to play Chicago, the precursor for the Michigan Women's Music Festival. And so, I've been in 22 bands ever since 1979.
That's what we wonder in our band.
Oh, well, that's all right. So, but it's been fun. My background is mostly rock, but I've also veered into jazz a lot. I played in Seattle in a band called the Mood Swings, which was really fun. It was all women, and we called ourselves Mood Swing because everyone was like, menopausal, and we played all swing music. So we had horns, we had a whole section, we had a singer. And we played, you wouldn't believe, in Seattle, we played for $400 a weekend back in 1995. Wow. And so the four of us could each take home $100 take home. And it was really good money. So I was able to drop my day job down and focus on music.
Join me and work, my dear, I'll refuse. I just wanna hold
6 years old. They made me take piano lessons. It was the worst. It was like an hour of piano playing every day. But it was yeah.
That's horrible.
I know, it was classical piano. But I was legally blind when I was a kid, so I had to learn everything one hand, then the other, all by ear, because I couldn't really read the music, or I had to sit too close to it to actually read it and play it. So, yeah, so then I took that until I was like 13, and I haven't played in probably 30 years. But I'm having fun.
We fell in love at first sight playing music, and we've been playing in bands together for a long time, and I'm so excited to see her. We have encouraged each other's music, but this is finally a place where all the writing that she's been doing can find a band that will play it. And you know, it's very important to me to see you playing with women, because you have the power now. And we have a lot of jams with a lot of really cool women and a lot of really cool guys like myself, but there's a tipping point the minute there's too many men in the room where the power is lost, and there's just none of that here. Everybody writes in this band. Everybody gets to, you know, see their creative power come forth. And it means so much to me that you give this to her. And that you share it. I mean, I've done this trip of making music with this woman, so I know you get back, but to see you all put this together in such a short time and have more music now written to do another CD even. I mean, it's just this creative surge that I haven't seen in you in all the time that I've known you. And I think that's a lot to do with the power in this group. And But you know, I was thinking about what do I want to say here. I'm in love with shiny things, and you're as shiny as a diamond ring. Now, I'm not going to get this part. You make my heart want to giant sing. Yeah, well, and I was going to jump and sing. But what the reason why I wanted to do that, and there'll be another one that'll come out here, is that when you leave a show of these women, you are singing songs like I haven't done since the Beatles. And we came with one of our bands that we're working with. They're mostly men, and we're up there in the front row and just loving these women, and we're all like just going nuts with these songs. You have these melodies and lyrics that you can't forget, and a lot of them seem, you know, to be choruses that are meant to, and there's all these crazy people that are singing these songs, and so you start singing along, and you don't even know the words, so you're singing nonsense syllables. You know, some of them you get we're dying, we're all dying, ba da 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 da. You know, and you know, it's like we're all waiting, da 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 da. And so, you know, to be that silly, the antidote for this time is to be able to. I'm a fairly straight, serious musician that is kind of uptight and need to be able to have this kind of childhood love of music that makes you want to sing along. And then the lyrics are very powerful lyrics for this time. For any time, but very specifically for this time.
With everything that's going on in the world, this dance song is here we go.
So here we are. If you're out on the ocean and you come to these shores, a shining refuge in the sun, you better stay on board. Hunger, disease, and cruelty is all these people come to know. Even the people who live here, they are dying to go. If you're out on the ocean and you come to these shores, a shining refuge in the sun, you better stay on board. Hunger, disease, and cruelty is all these people come to know. Even the people who live here, they are dying to go. 5,000 they take to the oceans out of desperation. The poor, the tired, the hungry, a society depressed. They love their towns and country, but they really got no choice. So many people need to have a voice. If you're out on the ocean and you come to the shores, a shining refuge in the sun, you better stay on board. Hunger, disease, and cruelty is all these people come to know. Even the people who live here, they are dying to go. But look on their faces as they finally pick dry land. The rescue worker pries a mother's lifeless child from her hands. The triage nurses can't keep up no matter how they try. Dehydration and starvation, why so many have to die? If you're out on the ocean
you start looking at your life and you're in your little midlife crisis or whatever. And I realized that music actually had always been something that was like the most important thing in my life, but I had never prioritized it, probably for lack of sense of self or security. And as I was going through menopause, I stopped really caring what people thought so much, and I started writing some songs again for the first time in my life, and I was like, I want to have an all-woman band. And pulled in my lovely sister and my wife Margaret, and then Nina. Craigslist, responded to a Craigslist ad. We had gone to high school together, but
And our children were in daycare together.
Yeah.
but none of us really knew that, and so
When I saw the ad, it said, it was from Holly, where they live up there, and it said, looking for other women 50s. You were looking for bass or lead guitar?
I think so.
And so I responded, and I figured that I must have a connection to whoever these people were. And I really wanted to play with other women and build confidence that way, because it would just be much more fun.
And I had known Nina Rossi, the legend from Amherst High School. She doesn't remember that she was a legend, but she was a few years older than me, but everybody used to talk Nina Rossi, Nina Rossi, Nina Rossi. So, notorious Nina Rossi. So when I met her, she wasn't who I thought, like I thought she was gonna look like, but I'm so glad she's her. But then we didn't have a drummer. We went through like 4 drummers.
Yeah, we had boy drummers.
We had one boy
and girl
drummer, we had some
drummers.
transgender drummer, we had 2 women drummers. We were really struggling looking for a drummer. And then this woman, Patty Waters, gave me this phone number one day for Gail Hageman. And I put it on my windowsill, and I was terrified to call it because I was like, we were so out of, like I thought we were never gonna really actually find a drummer. And about 2 or 3 weeks after it sat there, I finally made the phone call, and I left a voicemail for Miss Gail Hageman.
And she actually responded.
Yeah.
And she responded. Tell me about that.
Well, it's really all because I was at a party by a famous woman in the valley named Fern, who used to be the DJ on WRSI with Rachel
Right.
Maddow.
Right.
Well, she still has a radio show on.
Valley Free Radio and MUA.
And my son apprenticed with her in high school. There's another connection.
Fern
A lot of
is
connections.
The connecting glue. And I was at this party, and she said to Patty, "Hey, there's some new band that needs a drummer." And I was like, at first I'm like, oh, I'm so busy because I play drums in Dead Collective, the Grateful Dead cover band. I'm in Fusion Junction, so I was like, well, maybe, but anyway, I gave them my number and I thought, well, let's just forget about it, maybe they'll never call. And then it was like a month later and I never got a call until finally time.
I was scared to call. I was scared to call. I was like, I don't want another person to say no or not be the right person. But she was the chemistry. So like, well, we all were the chemistry, but she completed the catalyst for the chemistry.
What made Gail, what made you take on
Well,
the...
you know what it was? It was the tone of voice that Tanya had on the voicemail. Because, you know, I was getting a lot of calls at that point, you know, to join, a guy had asked me up in Broadmoor to join a Latin jazz group, and all these different things, and I thought, well, Tanya had the nicest tone of voice. She said, hey, it's Tanya, and she was just really down to earth and wasn't at all,
Glad you responded.
intimidating. So I thought, well, I'll call her back and learn a little bit about it. And then when I went, the thing that really hooked me is I went to your first rehearsal.
Oh, up in Holly, you came up to practice, yeah.
And I was really struck by the songwriting. I think that's what really.
We were doing originals.
Because you were doing all originals, and also all the songs had a real hook. You know, like instead of like a song like la 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 la, it was like these incredible choruses that were sing-alongable and incredible harmonies. And I just thought this is something I really want to stay with. Yeah.
So glad. So
Yeah.
I think, you know, the first year was all, I think we all thought that, you know, we're just garage band.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I mean, we wanted to be more, but I think we thought we were just a garage band, you know, we went, and then I even remember you, Gail, at one point going, you know, I just never knew it would get this serious.
Yeah. And so what happened, the really big turning point for us, we have to thank Cox and Reed, because Nina had an art show here with her son, and she asked, can our band play during the art show, during my opening?
It's
So,
true. And they were like, sure.
Sure, they thought, so 150 people showed up, packed the room. Suddenly we had a light show and a sound man.
You know, we started out, there was like,
turned into like this rocking concert.
Stage lights, no nothing. And then all of a sudden they were like, holy cow, we got a full
And then we get invited to open for Room Full of Blues.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
A really big compliment. And they had us open for Led Zeppelin, so that was a huge compliment. Lesbian Led Zeppelin band.
Yes, just before they left to tour Australia or wherever they are.
Yeah, so we just were like, wow, we're getting invited to open for like bands that actually are somebody.
And then we were getting kudos from those bands that really enjoyed us, and we're like, you know, we may use you again when we're in the area.
And we did our
Crazy.
first festival, a couple festivals, but we did Garlic Festival this year and did Jeff
we played
Fest.
Look Park.
Look
That
Park
was
we
a big
played.
deal. And the Pride, two Prides.
Two Prides,
Pride
yeah.
concerts, yep.
Yeah.
And so we're very excited, and we're actually, our album is only 13 of our 23 songs. So we have a lot of originals that people are gonna hear tonight that aren't on an album yet.
And a bunch more that have been written that haven't been
And
played
a
yet.
lot in the making. See, 5 of us write,
Yeah.
and then we all sing our own songs, pretty much. Gail being the drummer misses out. She writes fabulous songs, but in live, it's hard for her to drum and sing,
But I'm
so
so
we pick up
grateful
her
that
songs.
the lead singers can sing my songs.
She wanted to be Phil Collins, but
She's more like Lil Kurt. Lil Kurt.
So, and then I think that we've just had such an incredible pouring out. The fans have been also just so supportive and driving and making us feel like we can, like we have it in us. You know, it's easier to believe in yourself when you have people telling you, wow, that blew me away, you
And
know?
we earned all the money for those recordings.
Well, that's what I say, yeah. So our recordings, we pretty much have paid for our CD with our funds from last year.
Wow.
From our
saved
gigs.
everything.
We saved all of our pennies. We got these women in Leiden, the Leiden Council on Aging got a grant for $1,000 and hired us to play for their town. We've just had so many people give us so much support.
yeah, we wouldn't be here without that.
Yeah, it's really huge. And it's time for women to rule the world, so that's sort of what's really going on.
We're read a little song that Nina, our bass player, wrote here. to hold off the sharks.
Rub our titties together and off we go.
You know, some people shake hands.
Strength in the bosom.